Right, for the fifth player selected in the Barnes University draft class for the Tennessee Titans in the 2026 NFL Draft, it's none other than wide receiver Cyrus Allen out of Cincinnati. Now, before we get into the prospect, what are you watching? Right, you're watching the video series of me going over the draft selections that the Tennessee Titans had, which that series is already recorded, right? You can go check that out. But this is the other series where I go over who I would have selected with the same allotted picks. Who was the messenger? I always like to do this for the first time viewers. People that follow me already know what I do, but for the first time viewers, I'm Charles Barnes at BU_scouting on most of my social media platforms. Um, have a recruiting background, being in collegiate offices, was a data collector for PFF, have coached basketball and football. I've trained players that's in the NFL or been in the NFL. I've kept accountability in my hit rate for over a decade plus, with Titan centric or just in general evaluations, including free agency. I'm really big into accountability, and just progressing and improving my process and improving as an evaluator in general. So really, really love the process. I already took notes on what I could improve on, um, from more evaluation practices or talent accusation cycles already from this past draft. So, and speaking of that, it's always tough in these draft situations because of trade ups, trade backs. It's obviously not me doing it, so it can thwart your plans as someone who practices this type of accountability um, practice. All right, so getting to the player that I would have selected, Cyrus Allen, just based off of who I selected previously. First round took Sonny Styles and Emmanuel Pregnon. Then with the 60th selection, I picked Keontae Scott, DB. And then with the 142nd pick, I went ahead and got Nick Singleton, the running back, whereas the Titans used this selection, 165, to do the same. So I needed a receiver. And I think from a skill set perspective and talent perspective, if size wasn't an issue, I think that Cyrus Allen is probably a first or second round pick. He's definitely top 100. He showed out at I think the first one he went to was the American Bowl, and then he got invited to the Senior Bowl, and he showed out there, proving that level of competition wasn't at, shouldn't be a knock against him. Just excellent in his route craft, the way that he uses leverage and the blind spots of the DBs to get open, and he can blow past you with his speed, and he can stop on a dime and really change the direction very fast. And he's a hands catcher, and he plays with attitude. He plays with spunk. So he's just an all around good wide receiver. It's just that he's 5'11" and 185. Um, and just an incredible talent, and to have him at 165 and in that spot, and as you're doing the live practice, it's not like a mock draft that most people do. Most people go through 50, at least 50 mock drafts during the evaluation process pre the draft. And when you do it live, all those players that would have been available are no longer available. So you're really just, if you don't have a good Rolodex of prospects, you don't really know where to pivot. You don't know when you should actually take a player at a certain time period or time frame before a run goes. So at this point, at 165, I wasn't going to get another selection until 184, and then I'll get another one within a 10 pick uh, situation right there. So, eh, I had to do something. So I leaned towards just going ahead and getting the offensive talent right there. Someone that I highlighted as a gem of this draft class, and went ahead and got him. And obviously, I've sprinkled in the concerns in there. It's the size. He's had some a significant injury, that it has nothing to do with his movement patterns or anything like that. Just kind of a freak type of injury before, but has managed that. But overall, a solid player, and really fortunate to get him at that spot, for my BU draft.